Malcolm and Marcus was you reborn. Call me Chad X, new Black Panther. With a raised fist, I resist racist oppression, injustice. Mark my words, I won't quit. Never give up till we get justice.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy CS Motivated Minds. The other day I was sitting here working on a video about what is going on between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And my son walked into the kitchen. And I don't really remember who asked who what and how the whole conversation started. But what y'all are going to see is a conversation that we were having about what was going on over there. And I may have asked him what he thought about it, or he may have asked me. As y'all watch this, just keep in mind that it's not about being pro this or anti this. From my perspective, it's about what's right and what's wrong. I find that most of the time people start talking about this, they come from a biblical perspective, and the first thing they do is start quoting the Bible. But I come from the historical perspective. And if you've watched a lot of my videos and you haven't figured it out yet, you know, I'm a person that I love history, you know, and that was actually my favorite subject in school. So as you watch this in the videos that I may do that follow, that's dealing with this, just remember that I really come from a historical standpoint of it and not a biblical standpoint. So, hey, y'all check this out. Right? That's the thing, that most people don't know the whole history of it. So, like, when did Israel actually become a country? Do you know? 1948. But how did they become a country? Come on with it.
Not NAFTA, but
NAFTA, the North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement, wasn't even established.
no, I forgot what it's called. The one where the countries meet.
No, wasn't NATO. It was the British. Right? But what you have to do is you have to go back to 1917 to what is known as the Balfour Declaration. And if you don't understand the Balfour Declaration and the words of the Balfour Declaration, then you're not going to understand the whole thing. Because the Balfour Declaration in 1917, when they were in the midst of World War I, it was pretty much, it was a letter that was written by a man named James Balfour, who was the British Foreign Secretary, to a dude named Lionel Rothschild, right? And if you look at the Rothschilds, you know that they were one of the richest families, right? And when people start talking about the Illuminati, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds are one of the families that they name. But he was the Rothschild, Lionel Rothschild was the leader of the Anglo-Jewish community, right? Or the Zionist movement, as they call it. Because when you listen to a lot of, like, the Palestinians talk, a lot of the Arabs talk, you hear them refer to, like, the Jews that are there as Zionists, right? So he wrote a letter that contains 68 words, all right? And that laid the groundwork for the creation of Israel, all right? Now, this was 1917. Israel wasn't created until 1948. You understand what I'm saying? So there were some words in there, and basically what they did was they took the Jews out of Europe, right? And what they did was they let them, they helped to migrate back to Palestine, because it wasn't called Israel, it's called Palestine. Does that make sense? So, and the British made some promises that their way of life and all this stuff wasn't going to be interfered with. But what happened was, jokers got greedy, and the British only cared about their interest. So Israel started, if you want to call it ethnic cleansing or whatever you want to call it, they started pushing the Palestinians out. You understand what I'm saying? So that's almost like you got a house or you got a property. You got some property somewhere, and somebody who ain't got nothing to do with your property come along and say, hey, we're going to put these people on your property. Now, we're going to protect you and your rights and all this stuff, but they're going to be here, right? And then after a while, they forget about the agreement and they start pushing you off your property. That's what happened. That's the gist of it. So it's not taking sides. Right? Because, you know, but you got to study the history of it, because prior to 1948, the Jews made up a small percentage of Palestine, right? But everybody lived there together, whether they were Muslims, Christians, and Jews. They all lived on that land together. It wasn't until them folk came along and got no. Well, I mean, if you want to go back to that, right? That land that we talking about that we call Palestine, it's been conquered by everybody, right? But what I'm saying, in modern times that we know of, right? They all lived there together, but they called it Palestine. You understand what I'm saying? So here come this British dude, right? And his bright idea, they wanted to create a home for the Jews, right? Basically, if you want to peel the onion back, they wanted to get them jokers out of Europe. And then the other thing, the British wanted some people there that were loyal to them, because you got to look at all the resource, or they wanted, like we always hear, their interest. You understand what I'm saying? Because access to the Suez Canal and all kinds of other stuff. So they put them people there. Yeah, so, and you can't blame them folk for being mad, right? We were living here together until y'all jokers came along. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, not only did y'all put them here, y'all allowed them to push us out. And every time some stuff pop off, y'all back them, right? And y'all give them, y'all fund them. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't blame them folks for being mad that y'all took. We all live here together. It was a small percentage of them, but y'all allowed a large percentage of them to come in, and then y'all try to push us out. Then you get mad when we fight back. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't get into the history enough to study it, to know.
Malcolm and Marcus plus you were reborn. Call me Chad X, new Black Panther. With a raised fist, I resist racist oppression, injustice. Mark my words, I won't quit. Never give up till we get justice.